Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ricky, your friendly neighborhood Canadian, and this is your tutor. Today we are playing more Kaldheim SEALED. Kaldheim? No idea. And I have already opened my pool of cards, so I am just going to give everyone an overview of our card pool and what we ended up as our deck. So, quickly going through, not sure if you guys just wanna maybe pause if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. But if you want to take a look at my card pool, pause as we go. Just gonna hover real quick over all of these cards. Again, you can pause whenever you feel like. Overall, I think we were pretty much forced into our colors because black had next to no playable creatures. All of our creature base was in red, so we automatically needed to play red. Unfortunately, all of our rares were in blue, and blue also did not have enough creatures. So we had to throw in the white in there just to fill in some slots. Our deck basically has 0 snow action, which I guess makes the deck a lot easier to play and a little bit more flexible, but we will have to see how that goes. So the deck revolves around Cyclone Summoner, this bomb of a card. It's absolutely hilarious. 7 to cast, 7/7 giant wizard. When it comes to play, you bounce everything except lands, giants, and wizards. So we want giants on the board and cast Cyclone Summoner to hopefully end the game. So sure enough, we have Doomscar Titan. It has Foretell, it's a giant, it's a berserker. We've got Squash as one of our removal cards. If we have some giants out, it's 2 to cast to deal 6 damage to target creature or planeswalker, which should technically blow up any creature in the set, so that's looking pretty good. Basalt Ravager, which is a little bit hilarious. When it comes to play, deals X damage, which is equal to the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. So jumping right to this, the best we can get is maybe a berserker. We have some clerics, we have some dwarves, we have some demons, we have some giants. We have the shapeshifters, which does add to our creature of same creature type strategy here, and we have 3 wizards. Everything else is just whatever. Of course, this is the shapeshifter, Littjara Kinseekers. It's kind of hilarious. I'm not expecting to see too much action out of this. Honestly, I'm playing this because our pool had no decent creatures that we could play that would fit the win condition. So I'm using this as a 4 for a 2/4 body. It's really, really bad, but hey, it counts as a giant. So if we somehow manage to hold the fort with the Littjara Kinseekers, it counts as a giant. So when we play Cyclone Summoner, it won't get bounced, and that 2 damage might actually make a difference at that point. We got the bomb of a card, Cosmo's Charger. Unfortunately, we did not get all of that many foretold cards, so we won't be balls to the wall with Cosmo's Charger, but hey, it's a 4 to cast 3/3 flying. It's got Foretell. It makes all of our other Foretell cards that much better, so can't really complain. Argy Raven, pretty obvious, cheap Foretell, flying creature. Glorious Protector was one of our rares in white. It's just a flyer, and it has Foretell, so why not? Nico Defies Destiny. It was very, very solid had we managed to get a more foretold heavy pool, but honestly, all of the playable Foretell cards in my pool are in this deck, so there you have it. This could do some interesting stuff, but I guess as with most of the sagas, very conditional, and it depends on when you draw it. Tuskeri Firewalker, this is definitely the most filler card in the entire deck. It's a 3/2 body, it counts as a berserker, and the boast ability, I think it's kind of expensive and you probably only get it off once, considering it only has 2 toughness, so it's almost going to instantly die, but we'll have to see. Saw It Coming is Foretell. Demon Bolt, one of our more reliable removals, and it has Foretell. Cosima, God of the Voyage, is 3 to cast 2/4. You can read this yourself, and it has the Omen Keel as its flip side. I'm not too sure how well this card is going to play out. In our deck, it's kind of just because it's a god, and it's in our colors. That's the only reason we're playing it. I think this is one of those cards that sound better than it is, but when you actually play it, it might be pretty bad. So, you know, to get any benefit out of it, first it doesn't trigger until your next upkeep. So you're basically playing this for a 2/4 body that isn't going to stick around for your next turn, which is very weird. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you can exile it, and then you need to have lands to put into play before it gets any benefit, but it does turn all of your lands potentially into more card draw when you decide to bring Cosima back from exile. So it sounds really good, particularly because if you can hold out and have Cosima be exiled for 2 turns, you drop 2 lands on 2 consecutive turns, and on the 3rd turn, well, I guess 4th turn since you've cast it, it comes back much bigger. It's a 4/6 creature. That's some bulk there, and you get to draw 2 cards. So maybe this will work out, maybe it won't. I'm leaning to it won't work out, but we'll have to see. The Omen Keel side is an interesting creature. You may play land among those cards for as long as they remained exile. So you can steal your opponent's lands. It's kind of interesting. It is reasonably cheap. This is another reason we considered, we definitely included this card in the deck. It's a 3/3. We can use only 1 power to crew it. It's got crew 1. That's really good because we have a relatively useless Fearless Pup. Once it gets to mid-game, the Fearless Pup is going to be reasonably useless, but if we decide to cast Cosima as the Omen Keel instead, we can crew it with Fearless Pup. Story Seeker is a dwarf cleric. Again, it's a dwarf. It's a cheap creature. We had nothing else to fill the slot, so that's why this is in here. Same thing with the Axguard Cavalry. It fit the curve. It's the only reason it's in here. Frenzied Raider. It's a demon. It's a berserker. It can take advantage of like the 3 boast creatures we have. Other than that, again, it's just another curve filler. Immersturm Raider, demon berserker. So it's another demon. Hopefully it activates our Basalt Ravager a little bit easier. It's a berserker, but generally not looking to see too much action out of this card. And we have Bind the Master Monster, which is a subdual muzzle type card. So really, we are hoping to have some tricks up our sleeves in Demon Bolt, Iron Verdict, Bind the Monster, survive long enough to get our giants out in play, and then hopefully end the game with Cyclone Summoner. Our mana base does include 2 Shimmer Drift Veils, which is pretty solid. So hopefully that can get us going somewhere. But other than that, yeah, we don't have any snow permanent action. We are relying very, very heavily on our flyers and our Cyclone Summoner to win these games. Let's see how we do. You're the turn. If we don't get mana screwed, I think we can get 3 wins out of this deck, but because I do think we are going to get mana screwed, I think I'm only going to get 2 wins out of this deck. Let's see how right or wrong I am. Our first opponent is something I can't pronounce, Izzle. Full will shizzle my Izzle, maybe? Alright, here we go. Already we are strapped for one color or the other. I believe I would prefer red than white. So I think I will have to play Shimmer Drift Veil for white. Alternatively, I can... No, let's do this for red and hope we don't draw our red source. We want to draw our white source. Next turn, I do want to foretell some cards. That would be pretty sweet. I'm definitely looking to foretell my Cosmos Charger out ASAP, so let's go ahead and do that. And really, the first couple of turns we are hoping... Ooh, okay, we got our bomb card already. Not exactly what we're looking for. We don't want to throw Cosmos Charger out there just yet, I think. We are just going to try and foretell as much as possible and set up for bigger plays later on. Okay, so our opponent casts Firewalker, which is fine with me because actually I think I am just going to kill it outright right now. So that's going to be paying off already. Unfortunately, we don't draw any more lands, which is annoying. So I believe I'm just going to have to flash this in at the end of our opponent's turn. We missed the land drop already, even though we have 17 lands, so that's a little bit unlucky. Fortunately, our opponent basically does nothing here with the Littjara Kinseekers. I think, are we playing the exact same deck? Look at this. I guess they're splashing green, but that's pretty funny actually. Let's see, foretell. We can foretell whenever we feel like now, so that's 2 mana over here. But I think what I want to do is get my Axguard Cavalry out here. Alternatively, I could play the Immerstrom Raider, discard the Cavalry, and draw some cards. But no, let's get the Cavalry in play, and then we can still foretell later on. So let's attack for 3, get the damage going, and let's get some cards foretold. We don't have any matching creatures yet. 4/4 creature is pretty big and pretty scary. Our Cosmos Charger is already tapped, but it doesn't untap next turn now. And I believe we're going to take 2 damage here from the Littjara Kinseekers. Yep, that's what's happening. So we're taking 2 damage. We won't block that. And we will put our Raven into orbit. We definitely want to foretell Iron Verdict now. We have all 3 of our colors, which is excellent. It is an instant, so we can get rid of our opponent's Bergstrider if they try to attack. So, Berserker. If we get this Berserker going, we can get the Kinseekers up and ready. So let's go ahead and not use our white mana and get our Raider out here. I don't think we want to discard a card because our hand is pretty decent here as it is. So I'm not going to do that. I will foretell this card right now. And then we can do absolutely nothing, because we are just waiting on our opponent here. Deals 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Wow. Okay, so I basically just got wrecked here. That's kind of painful. Oh man. I was so close to hitting the Littjara Kinseekers, but here we go. We have the Iron Verdict that can get rid of our opponent's giant here. What else does this do? Scry 3. Whenever you cast 5 or something, draw 2 cards and discard a card. Wow, that's pretty good. So, at least we got the Augury Raven out. I suppose we can cast this and hope for the best. Scry 3 is indeed very powerful and limited. Good for our opponents. Good for them here. So, our opponent is running giants and being extremely effective at that. Unfortunately, we are being whittled down by this Kinseekers Shimmer Veil. Okay, that gets us closer to 7, but our opponent is running a whole bunch of giants already, so that's unfortunate for us. We have 2 red, so probably 2 white sources would be nice, but maybe more blue. Because when I cast this Cyclone Summoner, this is absolutely bad. If all of our opponent's creatures are giants, we're going to bounce a total of 0 cards, so that's not going to be good. So our bomb has become an instant dud against the Mirror Match Giants. Our opponent has a god to boot as well. And a Rune of Might. Wow. Okay, so I guess I block the 3 damage here. Now we are drawing more lands. We have our Cyclone here. We can bounce both of those creatures back, I suppose. Having a 7/7 body is pretty good. So yeah, I suppose I can cast this right now. We can return all of those cards to our hands. We'll attack for 2. And see where this goes. That was absolutely brutal. We played our bomb and basically got nothing out of it, so we are very, very far behind. Hopefully we can stabilize the board and still win with our flyers. It does seem like our opponent is very weak on flyers, and as long as they can't get rid of Cyclone Summoner's gigantic 7/7 body, we should be able to hold on for a little bit. So I like how our opponent has innovated a little bit and brought in some green sources to play green creatures. That's pretty sweet. We could potentially do that as well. We do have 2 Shimmerdrift Veils in the deck, so if we wanted to splash one other color, maybe we can consider it. But that would be playing pretty greedy. So I'm going to block the 3/2 just in case our opponent has nasty removal spell, which it looks like they do. Of course, just my luck. And that's the end of that. I believe we're going to have to take 5 damage at least next turn. So that is the end of us. That's 3 damage, and the GG. I believe I do get to draw 1 more card. I can survive here. Yep, I can draw 1 more card. I don't think it's going to matter, but I do want to see what card I would draw. Hopefully it's not a land, so it won't be that boring at least. But it is a land, so we concede. Sad days, sad days. Who knew our giant deck would run into a giant mirror? That is way more effective than ours. So we are doing 0/1 Kaldheim SEALED. Kaldheim SEALED. Zero one. On to next. Hopefully our deck gets to do something more interesting this time around. Besides getting whooped by our opponent's timely board sweeping spells. Okay, so we have an unplayable white card, but everything else seems decent, so of course we are going to keep this. Perhaps we can make see some good use of Cosima. Here we go. Our opponent is Earlite. Earlite. Shimmerdrift Veil is quite excellent. We will foretell our Cosmos Charger for sure. Although I think we want to get our Cosima in play first. If we had more creatures, I would have considered getting the Omen Keel out, but we had nothing to crew it, so it's just going to have to hold. We have Axgard Cavalry, which is pretty great, but we definitely want to get our Cosima out. Hopefully it does not get blown out of the skies instantly. However, between Cosima and Cosmos Charger, I believe I want to keep Cosmos Charger alive a little bit longer. We do have more foretell cards. As long as we keep Cosmos Charger alive for one turn, we can get a lot of value out of the foretell discount, but only in the short term. Unfortunately, our opponent, of course, has Raven Form and removal, but it does give us a 1/1 flyer, which isn't bad. So here we need to get our white source. We will definitely throw down the Cosmos Charger on our opponent's turn, but let's just attack for 1 for now. End of our opponent's turn, we're definitely throwing down the Cosmos Charger. We are hoping that is not a foretold saw it coming, because then our Cosmos Charger is going to get countered. But it's a Battle Mammoth, which is arguably even worse for us. So here we are, staring down a ridiculous creature. So we can foretell with 2 mana on our opponent's turn. We have 3 mana left, so let's get out a chump blocker. And I suppose we'll have to attack for 4. Our opponent's eyeing Cosmos Charger already, so we definitely want to take advantage and foretell some cards. Attacking us for 6 isn't too bad because we went first, so we can always swing back with some creatures. So we don't need to block with Axgard Cavalry just yet. Valkyrie comes in, it's a 3/2 flyer, which sucks to be us, I suppose. Kinseekers is no good because somehow with all of... Ooh, okay, actually if we get the bird out, the Kinseekers are going to do something. So we can get this Augury Raven out. We can also get this Glorious Protector out. That's gotta be something good. I can attack with the Raven, but that doesn't really do me any good, so I might as well just pass the turn for now and cast this on our opponent's turn. Littjara Kinseekers can come out next. So at least it's a 3/5, and then hopefully we'll have some decent trades to get rid of the Mammoth. Right now, I might actually... Raven Form comes in, we can do the Glorious Protector to protect our Cosmos Charger. We can exile Cosmos Charger to protect it, of course, so that's what we are going to do. Our opponent's Raven Form fizzles, but we don't get the 1/1 token, unfortunately. If our opponent attacks with the Battle Mammoth, I would block with the Glorious Protector and the Cavalry. I think I'm fine with doing that trade because at the very least I'll get my Cosmos Chargers back and get rid of the Battle Mammoth. I think that's a decent trade. I'm just hoping our opponent doesn't have a pump spell here because that would absolutely be devastating. Okay, so we get rid of our opponent's biggest creature and we still have a Cosmos Charger to live to see the tail. 3 or more creatures that share a creature type. Ooh, okay, it doesn't need to be a token, so surprisingly our opponent's bird token is helping us here. We do want to see the Basalt Ravager will now come in to do 4 damage. I'm definitely going to keep that. No reason not to, for sure. We can also attack with Augury Raven, but there's no need because we have the Basalt Ravager coming up. So we can just cast that and blow the Valkyrie out of the sky instead and save our creatures a little bit. Our opponent has a Frostpeak Yeti, which isn't that great. Here we definitely just come in and blow up our opponent's Valkyrie. Yep, like we predicted, it deals 3 damage because we have 3 birds in play, even though one of them's a weird shapeshifter. Now we have a lot of attacking potential. We can just throw everything at our opponent's face and still have a blocker to boot. And besides, our opponent's Frostpeak Yeti has a unblockable ability, so it doesn't matter if we keep something back as a blocker, it'll probably just become unblockable anyway. So yeah, throwing in the Littjara Kinseekers is a pretty decent play. And of course, all of our other creatures are flying. Deals 5 damage to a Cosmos Charger, which is fine. We don't have that many important Foretell cards left over anyway, and our opponent's wasting all of that mana to get rid of 1 creature. And let's see what our opponent does here. I don't think they can do very much. 14 is very safe. I believe 14 is very safe here. Our opponent is thinking. I don't know what our opponent is thinking about, though. They have to blow up at least 2 of our creatures to survive here. Horizon Seeker. Okay. Isn't going to save our opponents from anything all that much. We can just swing everything into that, honestly. And our opponent concedes. Alright. Alrighty. Oh, we did it. We pulled off the win. Now let's update our text here. Properties. We did it. We made it to 1-1. And we are good to go. Every time, I wonder if that refreshes my stream every time I update what it's called. That would be very, very unfortunate if that's what it did. Always remember to draw. What am I talking about? Man, I'm crazy. Always remember, drink some water. Don't forget to drink water and hydrate. Especially in the winter when it's so dry. Ready. Curry chicken. Spelt horrifically wrong. Alright, we have an awful mana base. Our opponent is going first. We have a bunch of foretell cards that we can't really play. And we don't have white mana. So I guess we're gonna have to keep it, even though this is awful. Why are we keeping this? Well, because we have Cosmos Charger. It is a very, very decent card. We want to foretell next turn. So I guess we'll just have to stall out and get our Fearless Pup in play first, put on some early pressure. Hopefully, if we draw another land, we won't have to rely on Shimmer, Drift, Veil. We do want to have 3 mana that doesn't tap. That didn't help, so let us get Cosmos Charger Foretold here. We do get to attack for 1 damage, which is nice. So if we draw another land, our Shimmer Drift Veil Gambit would have worked. By not playing this, we're not stalling our own hand. We got to do 1 damage. Let's put some pressure on the board, and we do draw a land, so that is most excellent. We can flash our Cosmos Charger in on our opponent's turn. You may play target snow permanent from your graveyard this turn. That's fine. We don't see any snow permanents on our opponent's hand yet, so we can either flash in the Cosmos Charger now or have a really, really nasty Saw It coming right for our opponent. If our Cosmos Charger survives the turn, we will have 3 cards sent to Foretold next turn, which would be epic. Hopefully this sticks. If it doesn't, we will be very far behind. And it sticks. We have 4 mana. Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous now. So, yep, we have 4. Let's attack so that I can still have Saw It coming up and ready. Okay, and then now we foretell a million cards. We can foretell the Titan. We can foretell the Saw It coming. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep the mana for Saw It coming in case our opponent plays something nasty. If not, at the end of their turn, we will foretell 2 more cards. Mistwalker is fine. I don't care too much about that. And now we foretell Demon Bolts and we foretell Glorious Protector. So we have gotten 4 mana's worth of value already out of our Cosmos Charger, which is excellent. However, we don't have a hand anymore, which isn't the best. Double white, I think. Maybe I want the red first. So we can't get Doomscar Titan out just yet. We can Demon Bolt our opponent's creature. Or we can attack into it and hope our opponent doesn't block, so then we can save our Demon Bolt for something else. So let's attack into this and see what our opponent does. Unfortunately, they do block, so we will Demon Bolt our opponent's creature out of the way. And here we go. We get in for another 3 damage. I was hoping our opponent wouldn't block so that I wouldn't have to use Demon Bolt on that. Our opponent is hard casting Behold the Multiverse. We can screw our opponent over just by casting Saw It Coming, because our creature is going to get massive. When we play Doomscar Titan, this is going to be 5 plus 9, 11 damage. So actually, if we counter this, we will win. Yep, our opponent has nothing, and we pulled off the win. Our Doomscar Titan, wow, this is actually really good. Our opponent has Battle Mammoth and Jarl of Forsaken, but 0 green sources. Wow. Wow. Wow, this is a perfect setup, really. Doomscar Titan comes in 4/5, right? Plus 4, and then another 2. So that would have been exactly 11. Oof, sucks to be our opponent. I don't know why we keep facing opponents with the Battle Mammoth, though. That's the second one in a row where our opponent has found the mammoth, so that's a little bit unfair in my opinion. Unfair to me, obviously. But hey, we claim the win. Let's move on. We have how many wins? 1 win? 2 wins? I thought I had 2 wins. 0 wins, 1 win, 2 wins, right? 0, 1, 2. 2? 2, yeah. We're on to hopefully our 3rd win. Let's see if we can pull more than 2 wins that I predicted. Fairy Ripper is our opponent. I'm not sure why you would want to rip fairies. That sounds really mean. Oof. So this is awkward. We're going second. We have our red half of the deck. No blue sources, so we draw blue cards. We're drawing dead. That's really bad. But I guess we'll have to see what we do. I don't think a mulligan is going to help us. Of course, drawing this card doesn't help us at all because we don't have all that many foretell cards. Frenzied Raider comes in. We also have Immerstrom Raider. We could start looking for cards. We will put away our Squash because we are very far away from giants, I believe. We get 1 giant. That's cool. Okay, I kind of regret throwing away the Squash because I forgot that's one of the cards we can actually play. Suppose we could foretell to get our Iron Verdict ready. To destroy our opponent's Frenzied Raider, and we can trade Immerstrom Raider for that, so I think that's probably the best bet. 4 damage to target creature, or I could use the Demon Bolt. Let's foretell the Demon Bolt. I'm hoping our opponent does not have any Planeswalkers here, so I can just use Demon Bolt to get rid of our opponent's Frenzied Raider and still have a 5 damage reach removal spell left over. Not looking forward to that too much, honestly, but let's see what happens here with our opponent. Our opponent chooses not to attack. I think I would rather have Demon Bolt come in right now and blow up maybe the Frenzied Raider, because our opponent can boast twice and tap out our blocker. So actually, I think I can still deal with the Raider. I'll get rid of the Goldmar Champion here instead. Cosmos Charger comes in, but we do not have the mana for it. So what we can do is foretell the Iron Verdict and foretell the Cosmos Charger and hope we draw an island next turn or blue source so we can cast Nico's Defies Destiny. That would be excellent. Opponent attacks with Scary Firewalker, which is fine. I will definitely block that. Oh, our opponent draws the most perfect card, so I suppose we'll have to force our opponent to spend it right now. I'm not sure if that was the wisest idea because it does have trample, but I think it's better than letting them run amok with the Frenzied Raider here. Hilariously, we do now have the mirror. We can cast the Firewalker for reach and kill something with the Verdict while we still wait around our deck for a blue source. If we can survive long enough to find blue mana, I think we'll be in good shape, but for now we are not doing so hot. Basalt Ravager comes out, unfortunately. We are going to deal 5 damage to our opponent's Frenzied Raider for sure, because that's going to just keep growing like crazy. We do 3 damage. Our opponent doesn't boast, which is a bit strange in my opinion, but we have the Fearless Pup here and we have the Frenzied Raider. At this point, I'm just trying to survive until I get blue mana, so I don't really care about any of my creatures. Our Fearless Pup is... we can't actually use that for defense, huh? Okay, so our opponent used Provoke the Trolls as a burn spell. Now we're stuck taking 7 damage. Okay, we still don't draw a blue source, even though we are very evenly distributed amongst our colors, so I think that's a good game. Our deck couldn't handle the color screw. Opponent draws a land, we block this guy. So now even if we draw blue, I don't think we can survive. Blue, we only get 2. Yeah, we can no longer survive this, and that's not blue mana, so we will concede. Sad days, got color screwed. Sometimes that's how it be. On to the next. We have 2-2. One more loss to go. Hopefully we have many more wins to take though. So I am hoping for anything that is not a mana screw or a color screw for this game. Get a chance to play my deck, it would be nice. I suppose in retrospect we should have mulliganed that hand, but hey, we survived. Ooh, where are you going? We survived reasonably well, or long, and here we have another awkward hand, but I guess we're gonna have to go with it. We can get our red source here, so we do have all 3 colors, at the very least. We have an extremely slow hand, but once we get to 4 mana, hopefully we can get Kinseeker out, and then we have a Squash as a really powerful removal spell. Until then, we can foretell our Demon Bolt, and hopefully stay alive a little bit longer. Frost Augur, wow, that's quite the excellent card. We will spin around our mana and show different colors so that we're not mana screwing ourselves later on. Top card of your library, if it's no card, reveal and put into your hand. Wow, that could potentially draw you a lot of cards. Top 3 cards, okay, wow, that's pretty nice for our opponent. Ooh, we have the double blue, so... or double red, that's quite nice. That means I can foretell this and still have red mana left to go. So now we have 2 of our removal spells lined up. Quite excellent. We do have the Kinseekers as our blocker coming in next turn. Each non-land has foretell. Okay, that's instantly going to die. Don't want that to deal with. Ooh, Glorious Protector comes in. That's quite a nice card. It is flying. However, I think we want our giant ready. And it'll bait out any kill spells, hopefully. We want our giant so we have another cheap removal spell before we start going aggressive. Our deck is looking to end at 7 lands anyway, so we're not in a hurry. We'll definitely foretell the Glorious Protector here. We still have red, so this source we can get as blue. I don't think we need that much white if we're already foretelling the Glorious Protector. We have Squash up, and here we go. Let's attack for 2 and see what our opponent does. Our opponent takes 2 damage, and we have caught up. Of Of course, our opponent wants to draw cards. I don't know how many snow cards our opponent has. Okay, maybe we need to get rid of this thing because they have already drawn one card out of it. However, if we just blow up everything they drew instead, maybe that's good enough. Wow, that's pretty good. So once again, we will just instantly blow up our opponent's creature. Don't want to get attacked with a 4/4 troll for no reason. We have another land, which isn't bad. We want to have Glorious Protector come in, and then the Kinseeker's next turn, so we will attack for 2 here. Hailstorm Valkyrie is not that scary, I suppose. End turn here. Our opponent does not find a snow card, so that's fine. Not losing out on too much value here. Opponent does get a lot of mana now. Foretells a card for 2 mana. Tap and 2 green, tap 1, sacrifice this land, create a troll token. Okay. So that troll could potentially come back and haunt us. That's fine, I don't care too much about that. Yeah, I don't need that to untap, I don't need to protect it. Attacking, we can cast the Glorious Protector here. Decline. And we will pass to blockers and destroy our opponent's creature. Our opponent is tapped out, so that is good news for us. We get a free card here. We could also squash our opponent's Berg Rider, but our Littjara Kinseeker isn't untapped, so we can't take advantage of the damage. We might need to save the squash for Hailstorm Valkyrie, so we'll go ahead and not do anything rash. Here we can cast Littjara Kinseekers. Our opponent is tapped out, and we do have 3 of the same creatures. And we see Cosmos Charger, which is excellent. So, however, it's a flying creature. I think we have to keep all flyers. There's no reason not to keep that. We do have Squash ready and available, and we can still attack with the Glorious Protector. So let's attack for 3 and call it a day. If our opponent attacks here, I probably won't even attack, or yeah, I won't even block, honestly. Okay, Packmate is a 3/3 creature, that's quite good. We can set up a debate. If we attack with our Kinseeker, we can... oh, okay. That's an annoying card. Hopefully our opponent doesn't find anything of value here. If they do... man... wow, our opponent just somehow went off this turn. That's a little bit discouraging. We don't need to foretell anymore. We have plenty of mana. And we will attack with our flying creature here. Leave the rest to block. My bad habit, biting fingernails. How many of you guys do that? Don't lie. I know I can't be the only one. Blood on the Snow. What is this? Destroy all creatures. Destroy all creatures, then return a creature or planeswalker card with X or less from your graveyard to field, where X is the number of snow cast. Okay. So everything's blown up. Opponent gets to bring that back. Okay, it gets +2/+0. Good thing I have a Cosmos Charger here. Each non-land card you have has Foretell. Okay. Not sure what that's going to do. What happens if I squash this right now? I wonder. Yeah, I guess I'll just attack for 3 and see where this goes. Yeah, bind the monster on Dream Devourer won't help us all that much. Hailstorm Valkyrie, okay. Not sure what that was about, honestly. And the King of Skemfar is also not really too much of a concern to me. Hopefully our opponent finds nothing. Yes, that is good news. We want to... Do we want to squash the flyer? No, we can probably just bind the monster on the flyer. We'll take 4 damage, but that's fine with me. Our opponent concedes. So hey, we pull off the 3rd win. And not complain. I don't think our opponent necessarily lost just yet. They have a blocker for their flyer. They're still a couple of turns from losing to damage, so I think our opponent quit a little bit too early there, but hey, if people want to give me a win, I will take it. We are now 3-2. We are overperforming our prediction. So, already pretty happy with that. Can't complain about 3 wins. So now we just need to continue on. Everything from now on is going to be bonus. Bonus. Necrovi is fine. We have our 2 main colors. We have a whole handful of Basalt Ravagers, which is hilarious. And we have Cosima. So we're definitely going to need to keep this hand because it is so much fun. Not sure how this is going to play out for us, unfortunately. But this is too much fun to not play. We don't see anything to crew Cosima, so unfortunately we're going to have to hold off and play it as the god side. We will have 4 lands ready for it, so that's pretty good. Story Seeker we can't play, so that's not going to help us at all. We will play Cosima. Next turn we get to we get to exile it, and yes, we will exile it, and then we get to get a 1/1 counter on it already. Ooh, another land is excellent. I don't think I would mind, although it would be more efficient to get the Kinseeker out already, but if we draw another dwarf or whatever, we can potentially gain some value from Littjara Kinseekers. So if we draw one of our other dwarves, we can play the dwarf and then the Littjara Kinseeker afterwards for maximum value. So I think that's the path we're going to go with. Unfortunately, we do not draw a dwarf. However, we do have a snow-covered island here. Whenever it lands, you may put a voyage counter. If you don't, you can come back into play. Ooh, so that's risky. What if I don't draw a land for a couple of turns, huh? But I'm not hurting to have Cosima come back, so I'll hold off and be a bit patient here. I can cast the Littjara Kinseekers now. Immerstrom Raider isn't going to be all that helpful, so yeah, I think I'm going to get the Kinseeker out, and then next turn hopefully I can use the Basalt Ravager to good use. That is just a 2/4 body that counts as a giant, so that's all we're going for here. Do we attack with this? No, I don't think we need to. Let's just leave it alone. We would rather have more creatures to match creature types with. Our opponent is foretelling up a storm, so that's pretty scary. Not sure what our opponent is up to. Our opponent attacks for 3, that's fine with me. I don't really care. Ooh, maybe I do care. Yikes. I just get, if they use that multiple times, they're gonna have all the land they could possibly want. Ooh, Doomscar Titan is excellent. I can foretell it. I can get the Immerstrom Raider out. It's a 2-1. I don't want to discard a card because our Basalt Ravagers are pretty good removals. Our Story Seeker can gain some life back for us, and we're mostly just playing this Raider as a chump blocker. And if our opponent doesn't attack this turn, we can have some pretty nasty stuff going on soon. 3-2. Let's see what happens if we don't block. We'll encourage our opponent to spend mana here. We can pretty much win outright here. 6 plus 3 is 9 damage, 9 plus 5, we're almost there. Each opponent discards a card, okay, that's fine with me. We draw a land so we can get Cosima back. Now, I think we definitely want Cosima back. Take action. Oh, what? Shoot. I wanted to decline that. Wow, that's greedy. So, Basalt Ravager can deal 3 damage. Or 2 damage, looks like. So let's blow up their elf here. And then we will attack with everything else. Again, we don't really care about the Immerstrom Raider. I really wanted the Cosima back because this is the point where we really needed to draw cards. Oops, our opponent now has a bajillion zombie tokens, which is a little bit unfortunate. Ravenous Lindworm comes in and gains our opponent a bajillion life, which also sucks for us. 2-2, no, we'll take 6 damage, that's fine. Demon Bolt is excellent. We can foretell this. And suppose we will hold. Vengeful Reaper is flying Death Touch Haste, that's pretty scary. Goldmaw Champion is pretty sweet. Wow, did that misclick really cost me the game? I'd be like 4 more cards. Wow. Yikes. Okay, so we want to do 2 damage to the worm. So what we can do here is block that guy, block this guy, and Demon Bolt the Lindworm. Four damage to the Lindworm. We are running Perilously Close. Oh, okay, we get the mountain, so this time we do decline here. Comes back in, we get a whole bunch of cards which don't help us, unfortunately. We do have Bind the Monster, So that's pretty sweet. We definitely can't let our opponent deal anything weird with that. We can still have the Frenzied Raider. And our opponent can only boast once, so that's fine. So we just need to wait for an opportunity to play our Doomscar Titan and swing for the win somehow, even though we're only at 6 life left. It's pretty precarious, I think. Well, based on the cards we drew, honestly, if I had gotten Cosima out a turn early, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. I would have drawn like 2 lands. Of course, our opponent has exactly what they need, which is fine, which is fair. Masked Vandal comes into play. Exile a creature, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Exiles our binding, of course, because that's just our luck. So here we have to block a zombie here, and we'll block that guy here. Not much we can do. Actually, I don't need to block that. I know I do. Yikes. Well, don't have enough mana to play both, unfortunately, which means well, I 100% need to have a flyer in play, so I guess we're going to have to do that. And then I suppose we will have to bring that out. We'll just call it blue. Draugur's Helm, it makes a pretty gnarly zombie. It's a 4/4. 4/5, and our opponent has a Flying Menace. So that is the end of that. Our deck had a chance, but we didn't draw what we needed. If we had drawn our... I don't know what we could have drawn to make too much of a difference there. Our opponent was drawing gas after gas and exactly what they needed as well, so I don't think we could have done much better in that last game. Our deck just got outdrawn. But yeah, that was kind of fun. What did we see from our deck? Our Cyclone Summoner didn't do all that much, unfortunately, because the only time we got Cyclone Summoner out, our opponent was also running Giants, so that didn't help us at all. Our Doomscar Titan was surprisingly an MVP. Our opponent conceded when we had it in our hand, but that would have been the finisher. So Doomscar Titan, way better than I thought it would be. Squashed its thing. Basalt Ravager was also good. Paired with Lajara Kinseekers, they did exactly what was meant to do. Cosmos Charger was completely overpowered that one game where we managed to foretell 4 cards with Cosmos Charger in play, so that meant we saved 4 mana. That's absolutely ridiculous. Augury Raven did its thing, Glorious Protector did its thing. Nico Defies Destiny, unfortunately never got a chance to play that. Tuskiri Firewalker did its job as a filler. Demon Bolts did its thing. Saw It Coming was pretty effective. Cosima, we had that one misplay. I mean, I wanted to get Cosima back into play, but it didn't make a difference anyway because what we ended up drawing were a bunch of lands and irrelevant cards, so that wasn't helpful. Iron Verdict did its thing. Immerstrom Raider was a filler card. We got basically zero value out of it. We never got a single 1/1 counter on Frenzied Raider, so I mean that's not unexpected considering our deck really isn't based around Boast. It was based around getting our Giants out. Axgar Cavalry filled the curve. Story Seeker kept us alive a little bit for one of those games. Fearless Pup did its job. It was kind of hilarious. And Bind the Monster, again, didn't really help us. Not really its fault though. We just didn't draw it when we needed it, and when we did draw it, it wasn't useful. So all in all, that was a lot of fun. It didn't go the way we thought it did, but we did get some giant action. We did get some Cosmos Charger action, and surprisingly, we got some Doomscar Titan action. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, please like and or subscribe. And if you're on Twitch, please follow me on Twitch. I will see you guys later. The Kaldheim Quick Draft is starting this weekend, so I am looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun.